Hey everybody, thanks for pressing play. In this video I want to show you around this car here, which is an Abarth 500. These cars are super chic looking and they're a really sporty and fun car to drive. Anyway, my aim in this video is for you to look around the outside, the inside of the car, and I'm going to show you what it's all about when it comes to driving the car as well. This example is actually my own car, so it's not for sale through the garage, it's for sale privately when it is being sold, but it is a car that I just wanted that was totally different from what we sell normally, and it's something that turns heads and it's still a bit of fun as well, and it's got some really unique styling features which make it different to the normal 500, which make it stand out. But let's start off by just having a look around the practical end of the cars. The boot then is 185 litres, which is about the sixth of the size of something like a Nissan Qashqai. Okay, yes, it's not a big boot, it's a small boot, but you know what, it's actually not too bad. Here is a puncture repair kit, and also underneath then here is the previous English reg if anyone wants to do their own checks. There's a one owner on the car in the UK, and there's also one owner in Ireland before me as well, and if you call me I'll explain how I acquired the car, but everything is original in the boot in terms of the badges that are on the floor and just the condition overall. Same in around the materials on the boot and the back of the seats and along this partial shelf. Everything looks nice and original and in nice condition throughout, and even up top here as well on the inside of the boot. And the other thing I always look for in a car like this, you're looking for any kind of dampness or anything like that. There's nothing at all, so it's nice, well maintained, in good condition throughout. There's a black roof liner, which is usually sporty. It is a four-seater car, but the seats and the materials on the floor, again, like we're saying to you, dry and in nice condition throughout as well. It looks like a car that's had really not a lot of use in the back of the car. Two head restraints up through here, and in terms of this side over here, again, same idea as well, in good condition throughout. So again, do you know what, I'm really confident if anyone comes to look at this car, they're going to be happy with condition in the rear of the car. And if you move up front as well, this door card's in nice condition. Lock nuts are standard. I think that's like a Tantrum rating in the UK. You have to have lock nuts on a car as well. As you move over through the centre in through here, again, this floor is in good condition, and so is the dash, and in through there is manuals, and there is some service history, and also there is details about the NCT that was, well, probably the only NCT that's been done in the car since it came into Ireland. But if you look down through the NCT and the results, everything is good, and there's no advisories that need to be noted or worked on, which means you end up with an NCT at the moment until 9 of 21. And the previous owner in England, actually, originally when they bought it, they also had it registered, which is quite useful. Sitting in the back of this car, well, it's absolutely tiny. No point in either way. You won't be comfortable if you're 6 foot, that's for sure. But I think anyone's going to buy a car like this anyway. It's only for occasional use. Now, to be fair, those seats are actually all the way back, so if I let them forward a little bit, it is possible then to sit behind the passenger or the driver and give them some bit of room. But 6 foot, not going to be fun, so it's not. But anyway, but one thing I will say, like I was saying to you, it's really, really tidy, it's really well looked after. Cars like these, I'd say the rear of them probably doesn't actually get used very much, so the back seats are usually in excellent condition. The seats are really nice in this car, and I love the fact that they're black. I hate some of the kind of more gaudy, loud effects that you see in some of the 500s. There's quite a bit of safety. There's side airbags and front airbags as well. And to be fair, actually, sitting in the front of the car, and that's actually with where I was sitting behind myself, there's quite a good bit of legroom actually here, so there is. And for a narrow car, actually, it's reasonably okay. I'd been watching these for sale for a while, and this was the first one that I saw where it was nice and congruent. As in, the interior of the car was black, the dash was black, the outside was black, there was no loud, unusual colours. And to be fair, condition is really nice all the way through. Again, this driver's door card, like the passenger one, really excellent condition. Electrics for mirrors over through here, and then down through the centre, there is a height adjustable driver seat and adjustments back here. But I will admit, it is a difficult car to get comfortable in. It takes a while to get comfortable. Drinks holders back through here. Moving up front then, you have an auxiliary power outlet in through here. There's also a cigarette lighter and some drinks holders. Gearbox is 5 gears, which you would prefer to be 6, but you know what, you'll see when we're driving actually, it works really well. Electrics for the driver's window, and then the same for the passenger on the left hand side, electrics for that passenger over there as well. Up through the centre then, you have heating controls. There is air conditioning, right, and you would actually struggle to find it at the start, so when you turn it on, you push this guy in here, and then the air conditioning becomes available. After that then, usual warm and cold if you want air to be drawn from the outside or where you want the air to blow. After that then, in terms of the front fog lights, they're controlled from, there's some lovely little buttons, they're nice and stylish looking, aren't they? Hazard lights here, and the sport button, which you'll see in a while, has impacts on how the car actually behaves when you're driving it. And up through there then, Bluetooth and radio and CD player, and you can stream music using that also as well. Controls over here for radio and Bluetooth, lighting controls in through here, and then on the right hand side, more Bluetooth controls. And like what we said already, safety is good because you've got a driver's airbag and you've got a passenger one, and you've also got side impact protection airbags. But the condition's really nice all the way through, and it's functional and straightforward. And one thing actually, you see along here, you can rest your arm, and that's really comfortable when you're driving. I found it by accident, but it works really well for me anyway. In terms of cruising in the car, the first couple of times I drove it, I wasn't that comfortable driving as a cruiser, but then again, it is a small car. But you know what I found? It's not loud on the motorway, and actually cruises along just fine. It is the more exciting driving that you want in a car like this, but going up and down the motorway at 120, it's just fine. There's electrochromatic rear mirror, which darkens itself along here at night time if someone drives up behind you, and there's a trip computer in here, which allows you to look for things like average speed, fuel efficiency, all that kind of stuff. And just in case you're wondering, see the way they're flickering those lights? That's just the LEDs that are on them. The camera's not able to pick them up properly. I assure you, there's nothing wrong with them. There's also parking sensors when you're going backwards. And what's really cool is, do you know what? Open your door and just listen to your exhaust as you back up to a wall. This is the Abarth 500, which means it has 135 horsepower from a 1.4 turbocharged engine. Doesn't sound like a lot of power, but when you think about it, this car is 1,085 kgs. It's barely over a ton. The power to weight is excellent. And I love the styling. Those wheels are so nice. Actually, on the day of the film, I didn't get a chance to clean them. They're lovely and shiny and reflective. The rear of the car is aggressive. The front of the car is aggressive. And some of the reasons it's aggressive looking compared to a normal 500, it's got a massive boot spoiler on the rear. But again, it's nice and subtle, but it looks well. The bumpers are much more aggressive with extra shapes on them. And down low, this little splitter as well makes them look much more aggressive. And on the quarter panel and even the door kick guards as you get in and out, there's nice details which make you know you're in something that's not normal. Even the shape of the seats is different to a normal car. So that's all the practical stuff out of the way. Let's move on to the more interesting stuff, which is actually how the car behaves when it's driving. And that's why I bought it. I like to have something that's fun. This car drives good. And if you look at the speeds that we're doing, we're below 60 miles an hour. We're staying in the speed limits. But this is a small car. You can actually have a lot of fun, even staying within the speed limits. You don't have to kill this car to enjoy how it drives. And that's what I like. Get into the car, give it a bit of a dart, get it out of your system and you enjoy it. And then after that, you can cruise along. 0 up to 100 kilometers an hour is about 7.9 seconds. To put that into perspective, that's around the same kind of time to 100 kilometers an hour as you'd see in something like a 1.5, 180 horsepower Civic. But there's good old torque, even on the motorway like this. If you floor it in fifth gear without having to drop back down the gears, the car will pull on back up as far as 120 kilometers an hour. But let's face it, the reason you're going to do anything is back in the third, I give it a bit of hell just to drive it on, and you'll hear the sound of the exhaust, and it is just exciting, and it moves along nice and quickly as well. And do you know, third gear is a real it does everything. You can start off at about 15-20 kilometers an hour, floor the car, and third gear will comfortably carry you up as far as the speed limit of 120 kilometers an hour, and on past that to over 200 kilometers an hour once you go up into fourth and fifth, if you're so inclined. But for me, enjoying this car is about getting off the motorway and getting onto roads where there's twisty stuff on it. So in terms of how the steering behaves, it's small and light. It does understeer a bit, I will admit. I wish the car had a bit more of a giddy rear end, but that's just how it is. But then again, on a road, unless you're on a track day, you can't really push the car past those limits anyway. But it's just fun. I like driving a car like this. It just gets that itch out of your system. Even like we're saying to you, when you're stuck in traffic, there's a car in front of me, I'm going to floor it here for 2 or 3 seconds, and I just get enjoyment out of it when I'm driving it. One thing though, the turning circle in this car is absolutely atrocious. It's like 11 meters from curb to curb. Like, it's just ridiculous. Like, you'd swing a small rigid lorry in the same kind of, it's just ridiculous. But anyway, besides that, you won't care because you're going to floor the car. And do you know what's cool about this as well? The pedals, you can do some good heel and toe action, and it sounds lovely shifting down. Listen to it. And that's where I get enjoyment out of a car like this. Heel and toe, down second, third, and then floored back in first. And again, like I'm saying to you, everything I'm doing is completely legal. But it's actually enjoyable. And that's the whole thing about having an interesting and hot car. When I say hot car, something that's kind of quick. I suppose so many people have, and these days in Ireland, so many people have such unbelievably nice cars sitting at home in sheds not using them. This is a pretty modern car. Everything's in good condition. It's a 141 car. It's got 72,000 kilometres on it. It's in nice condition. You can drive it on, and you don't have to worry about having, it's not a garage queen. It's something that you can actually get some use out of. There is some fantastic cars around the country, but I do wonder, do people really get the use out of them when it kind of nearly annoys them to get the car dirty? They just want it in pristine condition. This is something, if it is your main car, great, but if it's not and it's something you just want to blast on the weekends, it's actually fun to drive. Bring it home, give it a bit of a power rush, but bring it out again and enjoy it. That's what it's all about. And the other thing, actually, it's a 1.4 engine. This car actually has an extra urban rating of over 50 miles per gallon with a combined rating of about 46. So there's a good chance you're going to average around 40 or so miles per gallon, even if you're driving it on a little bit. Okay, boost gauge over here. So you see sport off. If we go into sport, watch the boost gauge. It actually raises. So sport off brings up to a little bit over about half bar, and we go onto sport and it goes up to 0.8 bar. So we're getting more boost, and we're also getting stiffer steering as well. So there you have it. That is my Abarth 500, which is for sale. Like we're saying to you, unfortunately I can't sell it through the garage, so I cannot provide you finance, and I don't have a trade-in facility. This is a straight sale and a private sale as well. But you're more than welcome to come look around the car and bring any mechanic, do any inspection. I'm happy with the car. So if you want a car that's fun and something that's easy enough to run, and it's still something that turns heads and they're not absolutely everywhere, and it's something that's a little bit different, I'd highly recommend these cars. Anyway, hopefully the video's been useful. Hopefully you know a bit more about this Abarth 500 and Abarth 500s in general. And if the car's of interest, then hopefully this is the car for you. Thanks a million for taking time to watch, and if you think the video is useful, please do like and subscribe for more content. And once this goes, I will be replacing it even with something fun again. Thanks guys.